Hello booklovers, I'm Khodakivska. This is Cat Josef, the great reader. Welcome on our channel. So it's so freezing, windy and snowy outside that we have nothing to do but drawing, constructing Lego city and reading. That's why I'm so happy that despite this terrible weather outside, my book mail reached me. Ben Wolf was too kind to send me the copy of the little Shoemaker silver. In my previous videos I've told you a bit about this book, but now I'm going to tell you a bit more about this amazing fable. So reading this book was like being a pair of shoes that nobody wants to buy until one little girl does her best to make these pair of shoes adorable and competitive to be bought. So in this fantastic fairy tale we follow little girl leprechaun named Annabelle, who decides to prove that you can do brilliantly what you love the most, even if you're born for another purpose or you're destined for another job. Living in Ireland, little Annabelle gets trapped in a suitcase of one man and finds herself in New York, where she tries to prove that baking delicious pies isn't for her and she's going to become great in something else. Well, I'm so touched that Ben Wolf let me read a few pages for you to take a close look how gorgeous this fairy tale is. The only point is that in my family we have a sort of strict policy of not posting a pic or filming of our kid on social media. That's why while I'm reading you this gorgeous fairy tale, Cat Josef, the great reader, will be my assistant. Well, but still my son is also close to me while I'm reading it. The only fact he's staying behind the camera. Well, actually it happens all the time when Nick and I are starting our bedtime stories. So, the same time right now, Josie. Well, let's get it started. Once upon a time in Ireland lived a family of leprechauns called the Shoemakers. The boys would make shoes with their father and the girls would bake delicious pies with their mother. Annabelle was picking berries when she saw a man sleeping. His suitcase was old and broken, but she saw something shiny inside. When the young man woke, he shut his suitcase on a surprised Annabelle. Rushing to the airport, the man took a plane to New York. When he arrived, his suitcase broke open. Annabelle looked from under a pile of clothes and saw a sign for a park. Finding an abandoned rabbit warren, Annabelle cried. She missed her family, but she knew she needed to earn her own gold. She collected things she would need and looked in a mirror every day to build confidence. You are a shoemaker, she would say. So this situation is also happening all the time during our bedtime stories. Usually Nick is asking one more fairy tale please, but Cat Josef falls asleep and sees his sweet cat's dreams. So, as you have just seen, the writing style of this glorious fairy tale is absolutely fantastic. The illustrations are marvelous. Well, I have read other books by Ben Wolf in fantasy genre, and well, without any hesitation, he's an incredibly talented writer who manages not only create incredible fantasy worlds, but just stunning fairy tales for kids. For example, this one grabbed my son's attention from the first pages. It's a quick-paced, enjoyable, and with lots of motivational, educational, and humorous and thrilling moments. Well, if you asked me, would I read the other books or in fantasy genre or fairy tales by this writer, my answer is absolutely yes, and I can't wait to read the next ones. Well, the number of characters isn't numerous, or their main characters and the sub-characters are perfectly described. At least my son stayed emotionally connected to all of them, but in particular he worried about the main one. Little leprechaun Annabelle. He was asking in the middle of the book, he was asking well, what will happen to Annabelle next. On my humble opinion, Ben Wolf succeeded in creating absolutely glorious fairy tale that will grab your kids' attention from the first chapter. Well, and as you know, I love writing out my favorite quotes from the books. It doesn't matter what kind of genre the book is, or whether it's detective story or it's psychological thriller, I'm sorry, or it's a fable, The Little Shoemaker's Silver. This one is not an exception. So my favorite one is, just take a look how gorgeous, how stunning and glorious illustrations are. Well, my favorite one is the following. My first wish is for you to stay true to yourself. Decide you want to do something and then don't let anyone say you can't. So my humble rating to The Little Shoemaker's Silver by Ben Wolf is 5 out of 5 stars. Well, I loved all and everything about this book. I love the writing style, the plot, the illustrations, these parts with their perfect humor, with the moral, with educational moments. But the main point that I love the most, that it seems to me it's the main point in every fairy tale. When my son is asking me, Mom, probably one more page, one more chapter before we go to sleep. This book grabbed his attention and he does want to read more and more. We have been reading this book for several times, and he's still asking, Mom, let's read The Little Shoemaker's Silver. I really love the adventures of little leprechaun Annabelle in this fable. So, Ben Wolf, my congratulations. This book, this fairy tale is really fantastic. Bravo. So, book lovers, I do hope that you and your kids will enjoy reading this fantastic fairy tale, The Little Shoemaker's Silver by Ben Wolf, as much as we did. Thank you for watching our video. I'm Khodakivska. This is Sleepyhead Cat Josef, the great reader. See you soon.